MLB the Show 24 is going to be an amazing game. I mean, they always come out with good stuff. I have my gripes with them, in the past, but as far as baseball games, I mean, you can't get no better, in my opinion. It's one of the better games in sports in general. But I think that with this situation, with bringing women in the game, I think it's a great idea. I think it's an incredible idea, but I think they fall short a little bit. We're going to talk about this and give my thoughts and opinions. First and foremost, I think this is a great idea. Like I said, it's a phenomenal move for the MLB. And it's something that, to be honest with you, is long overdue. I've been waiting for something like this since 1990, believe it or not. I'm going to get into that in a second. But I think they missed the mark on this in a few ways. Now, before I get into that, I'm going to talk about the positives of this. First and foremost, they do have a Women Pave Their Way, Road to the Show, kind of similar to like what the men's, the men's version is, where a woman can play in professional baseball. Now, don't get me wrong, that has happened before. The great late, Toni Stone, she's going to be in the game. That's her right there. She was one of, I think she was like the first woman, or probably like the only woman that played in professional baseball with the men. So this is great. I love this. This is awesome that they have her in the game. Long overdue for any type of recognition, because not too many people talk about Toni Stone, and it's just something that needs to be brought to the forefront more. Nevertheless, you can, have that is in the game, that's in the game as well. But the thing about it is, when you put the women in the Road to the Show and they're playing against the men, don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with it. There's so much more they could have done with this. Now, if you're looking at the screen here, women played baseball back in the 40s, and they actually had a fairly successful league that basically saved baseball while men were going off to war in, World War II. And now I know what people are thinking. Well, there's, back then there was a lot of segregation. There was not many people of color, no black women that were playing in the leagues. Yeah, true indeed. I agree. Why don't you just put them in the game anyway? I mean, they race swap with every other thing that they're doing nowadays. They're putting, people of color and all the other stuff. They had an opportunity to take this to where they could have had their own league, kind of like NBA 2K, where NBA 2K has the WNBA. They could have did a fictional league for women. I think that would have been phenomenal. They could have even used the throwbacks from the 40s, or they could have, made some teams up for the women for the modern day. I think it would have been a great idea to have that. Now, why do I say that? Well, like I said, since 1990, I've been waiting for a women's baseball game, believe it or not. I've been waiting for one. This game right here, Bad News Baseball. Shout out to Adam Schefters, man. I just noticed that was on this game when I purchased it. Shout out to Bad News Baseball. There was a code in this game where you could play in a women's league. They basically had a women's league. I mean, it's phenomenal. And I think that that's something that we all should have strived for ever since Tecmo did it back in 1990. Unfortunately, I can't remember any other game that done it since then. If you know about another game did it, correct me if I'm wrong. Hit the link down. I'm gonna put it in the comment section. I would love to know. But there's one of the reasons why this is my favorite baseball game out of all. This is my favorite baseball game. But nevertheless, they had the opportunity to do this, and I think they just they dropped the ball on it. And it's nothing to take away what they're doing now. I think they've done a phenomenal job with putting this in. I don't have an issue with it, but in some cases, it is a little unrealistic being a baseball simulator. A woman in baseball, don't get me wrong, it's not a contact sport, but when you're looking at, the logistics of things, it's a little bit off. Can they play? Absolutely. But it's just a little bit off. Fastballs, balls getting hit to them at a faster pace, line drive or whatever. And my thing is, and I'm not necessarily against men versus women in sports. My main thing is I just don't want to see any women get hurt. And I know that it is going way beyond the scope of a video game, but it's just, if I found out like a woman got hit by a line drive from a man and she's playing shortstop or something and she gets like knocked out, I know it happens to men too, but I will feel some kind of way, because of that, because, we, as men, that I feel like we normally protect our women. But that like I said, that's a whole different subject in that case. But nevertheless, I would like for them to do something like they did with the WNBA and the NBA 2K. I think that's a great idea. I think they did a good job of that. And I think we're starting to inch towards that. I think that's what MLB the Show is trying to do. I think MLB the Show 25 should have that mode. I think it'd be absolutely great to have a women's baseball league in the game. Because, nowadays, you don't really get just a standalone game, but why not put them in the game? Or, before I get out of here, I will say this. They could have done this. Let's see if I can find it. Where is it? Right here. Shout out to my Georgia Southern Eagles softball team. They could have put the softball teams or put a softball league in the game. Now, I know what some people may say, oh, softball. No, let me tell you something. Don't get it twisted. Just because these girls be playing softball, it is just as competitive, it's just as tough, and it's just as phenomenal as regular, well, I ain't gonna say regular, but MLB baseball. You just got to understand that these girls do fast pitch. They some of their hits are no joke. Some of these girls are extremely athletic, and I enjoy watching it. I mean, I watch the Georgia Southern Eagles. I watch the Lady Eagles play softball all the time, and I just think it's a phenomenal look, if they would have put that in the game. Now, like I said, I'm not against any of this, what they did here, because I know I'm almost certain. I didn't even look, but I'm pretty sure there's some backlash between what they're doing at MLB The Show 24 with women in the game. I mean, you always have those guys that do that. They always have these issues with women in games and this, that, and the third. It's like, look, listen. It is what it is. If you don't want to play it, don't play it. That's basically what it is. If you don't want to play it, don't play it. It'll be fine. But at the end of the day, it's like, I feel like they could have got a little bit more recognition. Don't get me wrong, putting Tony Stone in the game is absolutely awesome. Getting the women involved in the game somehow is absolutely awesome. But I think they missed the mark a little bit with actually putting these, just put some teams in. Even if you have like a 4-8 team league that's fictional, or if you just put a softball league in it, because I mean, I'm telling you, women's softball is extremely popular. It really is. And I just feel like they could have done a little bit more with this. I'm not saying that it's a flop, but I think they just fell short. So let me know what you guys think, man. Am I going to buy the game? Probably not. I mean, I love the game, but I just don't have the time to play. And when it comes to sports games, there's only two types of sports games I like to play now. I like to play golf, and I like to play racing games. Well, I'm getting old because I sound old right then. I mean, I just have no desire to play Madden or 2K football or basketball. I just have no desire. Golf and racing games. I'll play those two. I'll play all day. But I don't know, man. If they do come up with a league for women, I may play it. I may buy it. You just never know. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, man. I am out of here. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.